All right, we're back here on SportsLine, and to get to that point, Taylor Lewan was a top 10 draft pick for this team, and he was expected to be great. He was expected to be a top-notch left tackle in the National Football League right away. He's got all the physical tools to be very, very, very good. But at the same time, because of the situation the Titans are in, they put a lot of pressure on him to not just be a good left tackle, but also be a great leader in the locker room, be a great leader on the offensive line. And that is a difficult position to put a rookie into. That's what they did to him last year. He ultimately got hurt at the end of the year, so he only got about 6 or 7 games. So coming into this year, they name him a captain on this football team, which just increases the leadership that you expect from him and the type of example that you expect him to show. And at that point, he'd only really played 6 NFL games. He came out early in this year. He talked a lot. There's no question about it. He talked a lot. He had cameras planted in his face every day, and he tried to lead in the media and tried to lead on the field. But his play wasn't where it needed to be. And we saw a lot of that. A lot of careless penalties. We saw some personal fouls. A lot of mental mistakes with false starts and various things early on in the year. And when Mike Mularkey took over, and this is one of the things that I really applaud Mike Mularkey on. When Mike Mularkey got the interim job, he sat down immediately with Taylor Lewan, took the captaincy off of his jersey, and said, Taylor, I'm not doing this because I don't think you can be the captain. I'm doing this because I think you can be a better football player. Right now, you're trying to do too much. The best thing for this team, Taylor, is for you to be a really good left tackle. You do your job and be a very good left tackle. Keep our quarterback clean as best as you can as one guy and part of a 5-man unit. And that's what we ask for. That's what we need from you right now. Let the captain part of it, let the leadership part of it come later. Worry about just doing your job. The famous Bill Belichick thing. Do your job. Do your job and just your job. That's what Mike Mularkey got Taylor Lewan to focus on. He's taken some heat in the last couple days because he did not play well Sunday in New England. And that's a fact. He did not play well. Didn't grade out well. He went back and had a couple penalties. He gave up the strip sack that led to the fumble recovery for a touchdown for New England. Those are mistakes. They are physical mistakes that Taylor Lewan had on Sunday. No question about it. But if you look back over the 6 or 7 games previous, since Mike Mularkey had taken over and made that change, Taylor Lewan has easily been the best offensive lineman the Titans have. He has easily played well at that position. He wasn't having penalties. I don't think he had any for several weeks in a row there. He wasn't giving up sacks. He was doing his job. He was doing exactly what Mike Mularkey had asked him to do. So, yes, Sunday was a bad game, but I've heard a lot of people say in the last couple of days that they think Taylor Lewan's part of the problem and one of the guys that they need to let go or not be so sold on. He's not there yet. He's not a Pro Bowl guy yet by any means. But he's far from being the problem right now for the Titans with his play. He needs to continue to focus on doing his job. And if he does that, he'll continue to get better and better. You're talking about a guy right now who's 2 years in to a rookie contract that guarantees him at least 4. So you know he's going to be the focal point on that left side of the Titans' offensive line for the next couple of years. And I think that should be an exciting thing if you're a Titans fan, because he has the potential, and the more and more he plays, I think he's going to continue to step up and be this guy to be a good offensive lineman, to be a very good left tackle in this league. So I think right now Taylor Lewan is getting a bad rap. The guy he came in with in that draft a year ago, and one of his best buddies, is Zach Mettenberger. Mettenberger got in again on Sunday. Actually had one of the better performances of his young career, despite throwing a couple interceptions in that game. He was 20 of 28, commanded the offense well, led a rally in the second half that got the Titans at least back into the game in New England after being down 21 points at the half. He's going to get another shot, his fourth career start in 2 seasons against the Houston Texans and J.J. Watt this weekend. A lot of people have interesting theories about what Zach Mettenberger should be. Some people at the beginning of the year thought he should be the quarterback, that they loved so much of what he did last year despite not winning a game that they thought he should be the guy over Marcus Mariota. From training camp and what we've seen this season, I think we see now that Mariota is a different guy and that Mettenberger is clearly the backup on this team. But he's a guy that has real value in the NFL. You can never have too many quarterbacks on your roster in the NFL. Look at Indianapolis, needing to go to Matt Hasselbeck over and over again this year, and he's trying to keep them afloat and get them into the playoffs. There's other examples of teams having to use that backup quarterback, and very few have a Matt Hasselbeck. Now, the Titans have a Zach Mettenberger, who's a guy who could probably start for some teams in the National Football League. To me, that's a real value, and you see it right now because he's having to play off the bench. But it's also going to come into a value in a trade talk down the road. People have talked about that they should do that now, or they should have done it when he didn't win the job. I disagree because of what we've seen this season. I think he's been very valuable to plug him in and play him in the times that Marcus Mariota has gone down. I think he's going to continue to be valuable in that role next season. If you're looking for a trade, though, I think looking forward about this time next year is when you can start to really think of that. I think he's going to be on this roster through the 2016 season. But at that point, he'll be 3 years through his 4-year rookie contract. And he's a good enough player and has done enough that I think you get to the end of year 4, Zach Mettenberger is going to look to start somewhere. And so it's unlikely the Titans are going to be able to bring him back after that's done. So at the end of next season, I think is the time, if you're the Titans and you want to, or you want the Titans to trade away Zach Mettenberger for value, that's the time. After year 3, where hopefully he continues to show some progression as an NFL quarterback, and you have that safety blanket again for next year, that's the time you'll get value. Because if you wait for year 4, you run the risk of him walking away and you getting nothing. But I don't do it right now either, because I don't think you find a better backup out there than what you have right now in Zach Mettenberger in all likelihood. So I think he's a very important piece for this team for another 12 months or 13 months. But the 2016 offseason into 2017, that to me, if I'm the GM, that's where I start to explore options to try to get some value back for Zach Mettenberger. What do you think about that? What do you think about Taylor Lewan? Delanie Walker getting snubbed tonight, or where the Titans sit just in terms of overall personnel right now? We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Phone lines are open, 737-7767. We'll get back to your phone calls right after this here on SportsLine on News Channel 5+.